Alright, welcome back with more Baldur's Gate, Tales of the Sword Coast. Picking up right where we left off, having recovered our wayward dwarf, Yeslik. And on we go to speak with this short-looking fellow by the name of Quail.
Walking alone in the Coastway Road. How smart is this?
Hey-ho there, fellow travelers. Correctly assumes that we are wanderers of the adventuring sort, and asks what direction calls us. I have a sneaking suspicion that, regardless of what we answer, our little friend here's reply is going to probably be the same, and I further suppose that we are either heading north or west, depending on the relation of the bridge to the actual entrance of Baldur's Gate. So I shall say, westward, till dawn, if plans stay unchanged. Ah, it is the same as he. Surely this lends us a familial bond of sorts. A smart move would be to travel as one, especially with the number of bandits in the area. It also says we need the counterbalance of his wit and intelligence. Doesn't seem all that well informed of recent goings-on in the Sword Coast here. If he did, then he might know that bandits do not really pose the same threat that they once did, thanks to deeds of those such as we. So I shall decline his offer for now, and also correct him that my name is not Shirley. I should have guessed by our knuckle-dragging gait and minuscule nose we are complete and utter morons. And then storms off. Well, I shall have you know that I have an intelligence of 9. But who's counting? And it appears, yes, it looks like this is the end of the road, and we have at last, with hope, reached Baldur's Gate. Looks like we have. Quite a large city. It's actually divided into multiple segments here. It'll take some time to explore. But we have had quite the adventure already, exploring quite a bit, ever since we first set out from Candlekeep, all those, I suppose at this point it's likely months ago, in-game. So, let us make way for Baldur's Gate. See what the city has to offer. Ooh, who's this? Elminster. Greets us, good day. Although somewhat late is the hour. What a marvelous happenstance that we should again cross paths, especially in such a grand city as this. He sees that we have no time for his wry banter. His meeting us was no accident, though he does take pleasure in seeing us again. It is good to see you again. What brings you here? Says that all citizens of the Sword Coast eventually passed through Baldur's Gate. He knew that we would as well. He begs our forgiveness for his continued meddling, but believes that it is warranted, especially considering the pressures that we no doubt confront. It pales in comparison to the influence we have felt from others, including our own self. It seems what is bred in the bone can be hard to overcome. Interesting that he speaks so openly about his knowing Gorion. What do you know of him? They were long friends and talked often. That is quite the reference on one's resume, to know Elminster. But less so after Gorion settled down with us. He was quite the traveler in his day, though he never regretted his new role as a foster father. He felt a stable childhood would better prepare us for the problems that would eventually come. He was a good man, though I would prefer to walk my own path. Whatever our motives and dependence is always a wise course to follow. He worries that our lineage is harder to escape than most. We have bad blood in us. Though Gorion did what he could to teach us well and true. And again, what is bred in the bone will be dealt with in time. He trusts we have the will to face what is within us. I know little of what is to come, but I will do what is best. Be sure that the future will be kind to us. And as he parts, he offers us a few names of trust that will serve us well. Scar of the Flaming Fist, who we have already met, is a good man, and well worth trusting. His superior, Duke Elton, one of the 4 Grand Dukes of Baldur's Gate, I believe, is also a good sort. Both should be believed when they speak, and wishes us well. Alright, I shall take those words to heart. That is good to know that Scar should be trusted after all.
Hello. Nice to make the acquaintance of such a
Speak with these commoners and noblemen. As a man of distinguished lineage, he rarely stoops to the common events of the peasant man. Doubts there's anything he could tell us we would find useful. Sorry, friend.
You're a handsome bunch, ain't ya?
She recognizes us. We're the adventurers that have been cleaning up on all the bandits, aren't we? The leader of our bunch is named Zevrik. Why are we up here at the gate? Restocking or come to fight some evil in town? Evil? Here in Baldur's Gate? Why would you think that? Have you heard rumors of any such? She's heard some weird stuff about the merchant consortiums in town. The Seven Sons and the Merchants League have been acting real strange as of late. There's that new Iron Throne that just moved in. Took over that huge abandoned tower in the west side of town. Iron Throne, eh? How interesting.
You're a long-tongued lout, ain't you?
It's a pretty town, a word to the wise, though she's all surface. Scratch her a bit and that rot shines through. Check out the undercellar sometime, we'll see what he's meaning. The undercellar? Well, what happens there? Anything to do with the folks from the Iron Throne? Mayhaps, but he would not know. That place takes all types, the filthy rich and the dirty poor. The brightest of rogues and the most tarnished of holy men. Like moths to the light. Now go. It is best not to linger on such thoughts. I concur.
We do good.
Since we have Lucky Alo's discount store. We should probably make way for some sort of lodging for the night. It is rather late, but I suppose we have time to stop in at Lucky Alo.
Prices
See
are
what
the
he has to
best
offer.
south of Waterdeep.
He welcomes us. The prices are so low, there's got to be something wrong. Nobody sells it lower than he because nobody buys it cheaper. If we can find a price lower than his this side of Kalanshon, the item will probably kill us. So you've got the cheapest goods around. Let's have a look. Uh-oh. I don't like the looks of these. Potions of healing and antidotes. Speed. Oddly murky oil. Suddenly the low prices begin to make sense. Oh, and at least he advertises it up front. These are cursed scrolls. Alright. Can he even identify? He can't even identify this wand. Wouldn't trust him to do that anyway. Alright, he'll at least buy this chainmail that we've been lugging around, but I think we'll pass for now on what you have to offer, my friend. Let's gotta get out of here before anything explodes.
A simple task.
Alright, so where are we? Again, we are in the east side, and we have a couple of leads now. Somewhere in the south, I think, was mention of the Iron Throne building. Could very well be this one here. And then also the Flaming Fist compound and the Seven Sons trading coster were both in the southwest portion of the city. So that's likely where we want to begin making our way. But if we can find an inn of sorts along the way, that might be good. Probably better to skulk around in broad daylight rather than under the cover of night. Harder to find help. A city as big as this. Let's see, we've got a fellow by the name of Niklos here. We'll go ahead and meet him once the party catches up.
Here, stop a moment. I've got a word or two you need to hear.
The word on the street that we're a fine group of mercenaries, do the odd job here and there. He's a boss who'd like to have a word with us if we can spare the time. 50 gold just to hear him out. 50 gold just to listen. Fair deal. Lead on. Wise choice of action. He'll take us to the guild. If we're asked for a password, it is Fafard. And once we are in the guild, look for a man by the name of Alatos Ravenscar Thoibild. Alright, lead the way. Is it this unassuming house here? So small. We'll be on our guard, but I suppose there's no harm in at least entering for now.
Hi, friend.
Immediately accosted by a rogue of sorts. Better get out, unless of course we know the password. Well, yeah, I know the password. Spill it. It is Fafard. That's right, we can go in.
A
Right.
simple task.
So the Niklos outside, he spoke true. Leave these crates and barrels chests alone for now. Probably best not to meddle too much in them.
Task.
At least until we know where we are exactly. There are a bunch of rogues hanging about, as well as a wizardly looking fellow, and Alatos. He must be Ravenscar.
Welcome, my little friends. Please relax. And keep your weapons at your sides.
No need for hostility. Well, that's a welcome sight. He must apologize for the manner of his thieves, but a thieves' guild must keep a measure of malice about it, even though it does tend to put a cloud over introductions. He is, in fact, Alatos, Thwibbald, but we should not mention that too often. He knows our name of Zevrik. There are very few people in Baldur's Gate that he cannot name. I think they misspelled that. In any case, we have been here for only a few days. More like a few minutes, really. But apparently we've already made quite a stir. Well, your interest in me is flattering, though I question your intent. He assures us that we have been watched since we entered the city. As for his intent, he has a proposition for our group to consider. Small task, really, best suited to someone unknown here. Well, I am quite sure that the membership of a thieves' guild would include several people capable of whatever it is you ask. Danger of being recognized seems a minor concern if one is able to not be seen at all. Why do you need me? Compliments our shrewdness. He does indeed have many fine individuals of exceptional skill, but a large number are vacationing at the garrison this season. The guard have been exceptionally vigilant with the banditry on the roads, and to their credit they have captured several of his best. He's sure that in the history of guilds they are the first to experience a shortage of thieves. What exactly is it that you would have me do? And what would be my reward for this service? How well can you afford to pay? Oh wow. It's quite a lengthy intrigue here. A local wizard by the name of Chandelar makes his home in a moored Halruan skyship. It would appear he has the knowledge to reproduce these flying marvels and is currently organizing the sale of the recipe to Grand Duchess Leah Janath. He's drawn up a set of rituals, procured an artifact fragment, and an ancient statuette vital to the spell, keeps the ships aloft. Divided them all amongst his daughters until the deal is to proceed. He's been contacted by a representative of the Halruans. They wish to see as few of these flying ships manufactured as possible. We are to infiltrate the place of exchange, steal the ingredients, and return here. Simple enough. We would be well paid, enough gold to give us a backache, and if he's well pleased, mayhaps a magical weapon or two. Perhaps a little more, perhaps a little less, depending on our performance. Not really thrilled with the idea of burglaring, but I suppose we might as well hear him out a bit more and perhaps look for an alternative solution. Seems a fairly straightforward bit of burglary and well within my ability. I accept this challenge, and I hope that it increases my standing within the guild, as it should be. Now that we have agreed, the facilities of the guild are at our disposal. Feel free to make use, perhaps make our presence known to the other members. Alright, informants have told him that the Duchess intends to take possession of the components in a 10-day. The exchange will be hosted by Oberon at his estate. So we have several options. Directly persuade any of the involved parties to hand over the items or burgle them out from under their noses. Well, alright. Not really thrilled with the idea of stealing, but we'll see where this leads us. Speak with Ressar if we can. I'll take a quick break in the video and be back in just a moment. So stay tuned, everybody. Thanks for watching.